The best lesson is to become the center of gravity. And what I mean is attract people to you
Uh-huh.
rather than trying to find them. You bring them to you. If you want a seat at the table, you bring your own table. If you want to be the person who has attention at a networking event, you run the networking event. You don't have to walk in the room and wow everybody. You do the
Yeah.
stuff behind the scenes to bring people together. You bridge the gap.
Welcome to the Genius Talk podcast. I'm your host Atul Raj from the bestemailmarketer.com, and today we have Ben Albert with us. Ben, thank you so much for joining.
I wish I had a domain like the best email marketer. That's amazing, dude. The bestemailmarketer.com. How'd you get that one?
Like, I'm a marketer, so I have to really think about what decision I make.
It's brilliant, dude. I'm a domain junkie. I sometimes just look up domains, and if it's available, I want it.
That's a really smart thing to do. You know what? Once I was thinking about buying domains, okay, and then
Yeah,
selling domains.
I did that. I ended up just getting rid of them. Domains are technically real estate. I owned like 100 domains. It was a waste of money.
Okay. Oh, like why? Like, do you have any problem selling that, or nobody's buying? Nobody, or like, what's going on?
I put in zero effort to sell it.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Like, I don't know what you want to talk about today, but the short version there is I was going to launch a program. So I bought every major state. I started Rochester Business Connections 2020 during the pandemic, a Rochester, New York based podcast because I had no connections. I had just started my company and I wanted to position myself as a thought leader in my city. So I
Uh-huh.
used Rochester Business Connections to do all that, to grow my business, to start scaling my business revenue. And I wanted to teach others how to do exactly what I did. So I bought every major state in the United States business connections: New York City business connections, Los Angeles business connections, Austin business connections. But I never actually launched the program that I thought that I might launch. So the domain names are just chilling, and I could have probably sold them because there's a lot of, sex appeal to a domain name about
Yeah,
that, but I never did.
is there any reason behind that, or procrastination? Because it happens.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I don't know if we want to go super tactical or talk about like the emotional stuff, but like I didn't have enough energy to launch this program. It was an idea. So part of the idea was purchasing domain names. So if you're from Austin, Texas, and you take my program, I can give you the domain name as part of the program. There was like reason behind it, but since I didn't, one thing when I started my business, and we're marketers, like we're trying lots of things, and I tried a lot of stuff. But the more I had my hand in, I was trying to spin 8 plates at a time. The more I had my hand in multiple buckets, none of my buckets were filling up. So I had to scratch most my ideas, scratch most my side projects, and focus on a few essential ones in order to actually start to scale. So it was one of like 15 ideas that I had, but I couldn't do them all well. So it was just a great idea that I never did.
This is something I struggle with too,
Same. I mean,
almost every week.
I have a list now. It's called Stuff to Do, and I keep it on my
Uh-huh.
calendar, and it's there
Uh-huh.
every Friday. And I often don't look at it, but I've moved it from like a priority to once a week on the calendar. I click on Stuff to Do. I determine, do I have time to even start this? And if not, I don't. So I keep the ideas, but I don't actually just implement them. Which a lot of people would say start quickly, and they're not wrong. But if you start quickly doing 15 things, you don't finish any of them. So that was just a lesson I had to learn the hard way over time.
Yeah, brother. Okay, so what are the most powerful networking lesson you have learned from hosting conversations with top entrepreneurs and business leaders?
Yes. This is more geared towards someone who's a little more introverted, but I honestly think an extrovert will crush it as well. But like if I'm an extrovert, I want to shake as many hands as possible. I want to meet as many people as possible because I'm charming. People want to be around me, that kind of thing. But I was kind of a quiet kid, so I can only speak for my own experience. The best lesson is to become the center of gravity. Become the center of gravity. And what I mean is attract people to you
Mhm.
rather than trying to like find them, you bring them to you. If you want a seat at the table, you bring your own table. So if you want to be the person who has attention at a networking event, you run the networking event. You don't have to walk in the room and wow everybody. You do the
Yeah.
stuff behind the scenes to bring people together. You bridge the gap. So a lot of people don't like they're trying to get the perfect sales pitch and they're wondering where to network. I just start stuff. And what I do is I invite mentors. Mentors make me look good. They add value to the room. I bring peers to my events. And then I also bring target clients to my events as well. So there's people I'm spending money on, maybe a mentor. There's even competitors at the event, but that's cool. We'll talk about marketing. And then there's prospects and friends and all that stuff at the event. So whether it's virtual, in person, or starting a podcast and bringing those kind of people on your show, mentors, peers, target clients, mentees, possibly, you become the center of gravity. Instead of trying to call someone up and say, "Hey, you want to buy some stuff from me?" You say, "Hey, would you like to be on my podcast? Hey, will you come to this event? We have an award show and keep it on the hush, but I think you might have actually won an award." This is one I haven't done, but I love it. You give out awards and you invite people that wouldn't come, but they come because they're receiving an award. And then you maybe pay a speaker, but then everyone else makes it worthwhile. And then you're a thought leader in a sense overnight because you created the atmosphere. So that's just my ramble and riff on that. Become the center of gravity. Instead of trying to find a seat at the table, you bring your own table and you invite people to it.
You know what? I think this is one of the best networking strategy I've ever heard.
Thank you. Do you remember MySpace from back in the day?
I have never used that one.
Oh my, I'm 34. It makes me feel old. But when you started a MySpace, your first friend, every time your first friend automatically auto added was MySpace Tom. So you'd make a MySpace page and Tom would automatically be your first friend. Now, why was he your first friend? It's because he co founded the platform. So if you want to be
Okay.
platformed, you just create the platform. If you want to win friends and influence people, you just start something. And then Tom was everyone's first friend. He had the most friends, and all he did is start the thing. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
What do you
Can
think
you
about
explain?
that? Sure. You want me to explain?
Yeah.
Specifically on MySpace, you'd set up a profile, he would automatically be your first friend. It was a connection.
Uh-huh.
On LinkedIn, they call them connections. On Facebook, they call them friend requests. So he had the most friends because if there was 10 million MySpace users, the founder had 10 million friends. He
Okay.
was he was popular because he started it.
Okay. Okay. I get it what you're trying to say. And I also have one more idea.
Yeah,
Like, I think we can use name dropping Tom
yeah,
and all the network who's friends with Tom will feel like, okay, he's Tom's friend, so he's, safe. We can connect with him.
yeah. Like the more people you know, the easier it is to connect. Or yeah, yeah.
Okay, so like, how do you build genuine, lasting connection in business, not just transactional one?
Yeah, I mean it's we're all human beings. I think that's where to start. I'm not an expert like philosopher, human psychologist, but humans spend money on humans. Now there's AI, there's automations, there's email marketing systems they're tools to make humans life better, but a human's going to buy from a human. So we need to acknowledge that. People aren't leads. They're not money printing machines. They're not people we want to rip off. They're human beings with families, with friends, their fathers, their sons, their daughters. So you start there and then you just treat people well. We can get tactical if you want, but you
Mhm.
treat people well. You listen to them. You do what you say you're going to do. If you're reliable over time, you get a brand of he's reliable. I trust him. I want to refer people to him. So long lasting connection is actually different based on personalities, but you need to show up, be yourself, understand what you value, understand what you bring, the value you add, and treat people with love, respect, empathy, solve their problems. And for what it's worth, we don't need to be friends. We don't have to have a relationship. I like spending money on someone who solves my problem. But if they
Mhm.
can solve my problem and we get along, it's just a great way to do business, in my opinion.
Yep. That you're doing business with a friend. You can say that.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
And I'd rather someone who solves my problem than a friend, but if they can do both, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you share an example of a relationship from your podcast that turned into a concrete business opportunity?
Yeah. This is at this. I'll shout him out. I actually haven't talked to Kevin in a little over a year, but I had Kevin Rustici on my podcast very early on. It was a Rochester, New York based show, and he introduced me to like 10 people. And I would have to draw a diagram with all the lines, like a family tree. But his introductions led to not everyone he introduced me to spend money on me, but maybe someone they introduced me to. I didn't know anyone yet. So he introduced me to 10. And between those 10 people introducing me to other people and relationships, I made several $100,000 off him just taking the time to make a few introductions one time. A second example of that is the podcast had just started. Nate Hasto had a networking group. So he promoted my podcast in the group.
Mhm.
This person has a local podcast. He's looking for business owners and entrepreneurs. Will you be on? So I immediately had a bunch of people that wanted to be on the show. And
Mhm.
the strategy behind it is like they're business owners. I have a marketing firm. They
Mhm.
could become clients. Even if they don't, though, they can teach me stuff and they might
Mhm.
know other business owners. So it was just one conversation at a time. And I'm only as good as how I show up and the
Mhm.
trust people put in me to introduce me to more.
Okay, so what's your favorite content marketing strategies for business owners who want a maximum visibility?
My favorite,
Yeah.
because like the best for visibility is just to spend a ton of money on ads, but that's expensive.
Mhm.
To spend a ton of money on ads, that'll get you the most visibility. My strategy is to be the content, literally to be the content. It's not always the best content, but it's the realest content. I don't sit down saying hook, story, tactic, CTA, and then talk to the camera alone or pick. It's not bad, but it's not my
Yeah.
favorite content, man. My favorite content strategy is what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Talking. You are the content. Now, if you have a larger budget or you have a team, you have someone follow you around. If you have the budget or the team to do it, like not only would we be talking, there'd be a camera here, there'd be a camera here, there'd be someone holding a camera and someone doing post production. So I'm not here trying to make up content, I'm just being the content. But if you have no budget or little budget, you just go live. You go on a Zoom call, you go on a Riverside call, you have conversations. If you have extra time, you repurpose that into shorter graphics, into maybe a 5-minute video versus a hour-long podcast, 20-minute podcast. You create graphics. You take the transcripts, you turn them into blog posts. You can get tactical, but instead of trying to create the content first,
Mhm.
I am the content first, and then I just repurpose the conversations I like to have anyways. That's my
But the
favorite
one,
strategy. It's the funnest.
yeah, yes, exactly. And I think it's much more easy to produce.
100%. Well, and have you ever said something and you're like, what did I just say?
This happened a lot. And you know what? I just let it, stay.
Yeah. I forget what I said a lot of the time. And I disagree with myself. This conversation, 6 months
Uh-huh.
from now, I'll probably just say something else. And I think that's okay. Your one last thought on that is you're documenting your journey simultaneously. So instead of trying to make content, I'm just
Uh-huh.
documenting my own progress.
You know what? There are many times happen like I said something on an interview, and just after interview, I was like, "What? I mean to say something else."
Oops.
Yeah, exactly. Oops. And yeah, one more thing. One more way to repurpose. Like, if an interview is very good, and instead of only transcribing and putting it on a blog, we can convert it into an ebook and put that on a Kindle.
It's one thing I've been considering. You could do it with your show.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have hundreds of episodes. I want to create an ebook and have that as like a cheap lead magnet or something free. I also
exactly.
want to take that and turn it into a keynote. It's like I interviewed 500 marketing executives. Here are the 3 tips that everyone need to do in 2026. You turn it into a keynote. And Ben came up with none of it. I just learned and then used all this data to create an ebook, a keynote, a video. You could create a video series. You could do so much, but you can't do that on the front end. You do it on the back end. You
Yeah, yeah,
learn, you create all the content, you document the journey, and then you have a what I learned TED talk afterwards, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, exactly. And one more way we can do that. Suppose, okay, so normal direct response business looks like getting traffic to on opt-in page, then sending them to sales letter and doing daily emails, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So suppose there are lots of interviews on traffic, then there is in book there'll be a traffic section, then
Mm.
there'll be a lead magnet section, then daily email section, then sales page section, and there you have a product.
100%. And in theory, maybe you, if you're selling a program or you're creating something that's going to have a cost, you would give
Yeah,
away one section for free. You would
yeah.
tease every other section. It's like you can have this section for free, but if you want all of this, and then you set up an email campaign to dribble little nuggets of information that give them something, but not really just a nibble. And if you want the full implementation or the coaching or the consulting or the full program, then this is how I can make an offer to do it.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, like, what do you think? What is the mistake you have made while doing podcasting?
I mean, how long do we have?
I'm here to. I'm here for you. I'm listening.
I mean, I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes. What's causing me to pause is I don't really see them as mistakes. Like if you were to look at my first episode, this is like a not you don't know what you don't know kind of mistake. My first episode, all my levels on my mixer are screwed up. So my voice sounds really weird. And I
Yeah,
recorded like 12 episodes in 3 days. So
yeah,
my
yeah.
first 12 episodes sounded
Oh my
weird. And it was the
god.
start of the pandemic, and
Yeah,
I was using a green screen, and my camera was meh, my lighting was meh, and I look bad, and
yeah,
like I
yeah.
was tired, so I look
Uh-huh.
bloodshot, and there's no
Yeah,
camera. It's all of it. The thing is, though, talk about being the content documenting the journey. I still made relationships with the bad
yeah.
audio, the bad camera, the bad questions.
Yes.
I still grew my business with the mistake. The only mistake would have been not to do it because I was afraid to, because it was really bad, but was it a mistake? It was
Mm,
my learning process.
yeah. So, what's the maximum number of podcasts you have done in a very short period of time?
Oh man, I actually don't have an answer to that. Are you talking about being a guest, hosting, or both?
Hosting. Okay, let's talk about both. Okay.
Why both makes it more difficult. So when I
Okay.
launched in November 2020, I did 22 episodes in November. I did
Okay.
Monday through Friday. I was
Uh-huh.
on a networking binge. So Monday
Mhm.
through Friday for all of November, I put out an episode. Then I went to
Mhm.
3 a week. And it's because I had more than 22 episodes. Like
Yeah.
in 1 month, I recorded like 35 episodes. And it's because I would get all these introductions and I didn't have a job or clients. So I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
do 5 podcasts in a day. I got to
Yeah.
meet 5 people. So I did like what some people do in a year in just a month or two.
Yes. Yes.
And then guesting, like, I mean, I've done 3 to 5 in a day. I've never actually counted it out, but between my show and guesting, I've probably done 10 to 15 in a week a couple of times.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm still learning, but that's kind of how you get good at it. You get the reps in. So I don't have a perfect answer to your question, but just a lot is the answer.
Yeah. So, what business or marketing advice do you wish you ignored that you wish you should have followed before?
So stuff that I wish I had ignored.
Yeah.
Interesting. Most of the advice I learned on sales, and some of it's good. The concept of being a closer, always be closing, answering objections. Like, I need to talk to my wife. Beautiful. Let's give her a call right now. What's her name? I don't have the budget. I don't have the budget. If you did have the budget, would this be the answer for you? Like, I kind of get it, but you asked about relationships earlier.
Mhm.
It's hard to have a long term relationship if you're just reading out scripted objection answering questions all the time. It's very inauthentic. I needed to learn sales to get a little momentum.
Mhm.
I'll just call out Grant Cardone because I think it's a little less controversial. The
Yeah.
stuff he teaches does not work very good. It may work in some contexts. If you're cold calling someone for a very specific product, you're Grant Cardone, but some person who's just there, just trying to like one up and win the sale and murder the prospect, I don't think that's good business advice. But I spent a lot of my career thinking
Mhm.
that's what sales was, and I didn't have a book of business in my career. What built
Yeah.
a book of business was trust,
Yeah.
if that makes
And you know
sense.
what? Yeah, exactly. You know what? When I was doing objection handling on sales call, I didn't like doing business that way.
No.
Yeah. But when I started getting people on my email list and I'm just sending email and they're just happy they're buying, that time it was fun.
Email list is we talked about being the center of gravity. You're an
Yeah.
email expert. This is more
Yeah.
marketing than it is sales, but I think they're hand in hand. Most of my sales calls is me guiding them to the solution and seeing if they can afford it and if they have the time and if it's a good fit. I'm not trying to convince them of anything because if you market well, you're not going to spend the sales call trying to convince them of stuff.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah. Exactly.
market well, they come wanting to buy.
Oh, yes. One more thing I forgot to mention. Like before, I was doing, cold email. So
Yeah.
that's why I had to do cold call, not cold, I mean, closing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
It's
was one
it's
thing
just
that's
it's
different.
just it's just harder. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good skill set to have. If your product's good, you'll be fine.
Hmm.
I just find it was kind of stressful.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I'd rather they come to me. Marketing's more fun because they come to me, "Hey, can I buy stuff?" Sales is like, "I need money. I need money." I call it commission breath, and it stinks.
Yeah. I agree with you. 100%. Okay, brothers. So, our listeners who want to connect with you or want to go and listen your podcast, where can they go?
First, I'm going to give them 3 steps, but they can't do 2 or 3 without 1. Step 1 is if you enjoyed this podcast, click subscribe, click 5 stars, leave a comment, do at least one of these things. Send one of us a DM, show a little bit of love, like something. Do something, please. If you're already subscribed, send us a DM. If you're not subscribed, click subscribe. You can find my podcast. It was once Rochester only. Now it's international. It's now called Real Business Connections. You can find Real Business Connections wherever you found this. So just type in Real Business Connections in your search bar or Google it. And I have a free community. We put on multiple live events with other entrepreneurs, multiple a month in multiple time zones. It's at weallgrowtogether.com. weallgrowtogether.com. Talk about good domain names. It's a community of people learning and growing together and doing business together. So love this show. Like my show if you want. And if you want the third step, it's go to weallgrowtogether.com. But I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, brother, it was really fun chatting with you.
Yeah, went by quick.
Yep.